everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin and for today's video I'm going to be bringing you my June wrap up. I was going to say TBR. That already happened. So my reading month in June was not good. I don't know what happened. I only read one physical book and that was a YA book. The rest were adult contemporaries. And they were all audiobooks. It was a weird reading month. Halfway through the month, I was just like in a slump and I didn't have any more audiobooks and I was like, I give up. That's not true. I tried to read other books. I couldn't do it. So I'm hoping that July is a bit better. I'm already out of my reading slump. It's June 30th, but I know I'm not going to finish another book today. I have work and then I have plans after, so it's not going to happen, but I am super excited to be bringing this to you. I feel like once this is done, I can close it out and July can be a much more successful reading month, so I just want to close this chapter of the book, no pun intended, and just kind of move on to July so that everything can be better. Hopefully. Let's get started. So the first book that I listened to on audiobook this month was The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I said that weird. This, if you haven't heard of it, by some miracle, is about a Hollywood starlet and she's around 80 years old now, and she had a lot of popular movies, but she was also really well known for having 7 husbands, and she is finally allowing someone to chronicle her life. She has never allowed that before, and she was kind of like a mysterious woman, and so she takes this journalist who doesn't really have like any rep really. Her one piece that she had done that did pretty decently didn't really it was good, but like it didn't go a ton of places, so she's wondering like why Evelyn chose her, and she's chronicling her life obviously, and we learn about her 7 husbands and everything like that. A lot of people really love this book and I get it, but it was so hyped up, like the level of hype was like here, and like so my expectations were here, but like the book overall was like here. Like it was still really good, but I didn't love it as much as everyone else was hyping it up. And the ending, if you've read this, it is pretty tragic. It is pretty heartbreaking, but everyone talks about like, oh my gosh, it'll rip out your soul, like XYZ. And that didn't happen for me because I was expecting so much more from it, and I also kind of predicted it. Not in the sense that like from the beginning I knew, but if you don't want any spoilers, then just skip until I put this book down. Quickly, I'll give you my rating. I think I gave it like a 4 or 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. It was a really good book. It was really well done. I was captivated the entire time. It didn't like live up to that hype for me, and I don't have like any emotional connections to it, so it wasn't a 5. Now skip if you don't want any spoilers and you haven't read it yet. I knew like before even picking it up that the journalist was going to be somebody's daughter, like from the beginning. I just didn't know who, and I was like, okay, maybe she's Evelyn's daughter, but then like that didn't happen. So like I didn't necessarily predict it entirely, but I knew from the beginning she was somebody's daughter, and so I was like, yeah, I'm not really surprised by this like plot twist of an ending. And I feel like it could have been more heartbreaking, like if it was, I don't even know, but like I feel like it could have been just more, or maybe like the hints could have been less. Like I don't know. Something was missing, and I can't quite place my finger on what it was, but like something was missing for me. Am I a horrible person for saying that? Like, her dad literally died in a car accident. She had her whole life. Like, it was horrible, and I'm not saying that it wasn't horrible. I feel like a bad person now. Next we have an unpopular opinion, which, shout out to whoever commented on, I think it was like my summer contemporary recommendations, where they said just share your opinion, like thank you. Like, actually, thank you. It made me feel so much more comfortable. And I agree with you. Like, I'm 100%, like, I feel the same way about every other booktuber, but for whatever reason, like, I'm scared. But, like, thank you. It made me feel really comfortable to share my opinion, and that means a lot. Okay, the next book, like I said, controversial, not controversial, but an unpopular opinion for sure. And that is If I'm Being Honest by Emily Wibberley and Austin Sigmund Broca. I gave this book a 2.75 out of 5 stars. Yikes. I obviously was not a huge fan of this book. The first, like, 100 pages or so, I was really enjoying my time reading this, and it was decent. Like, I wasn't obsessed with it or anything, but I was liking it. And it was a decent summary contemporary. Well, not summary, I guess, but contemporary. And something that I did really love about this book was all of the coding and, like, the web design. I wish we would have seen, like, I know we saw a decent amount of it, but I still wish we would have seen more, like, of her web designing. Like, the love interest, I don't care about all of the things that he did. I want to know more about her web design because I just thought it was so cool. Anyway, why I didn't like this book. I was not a fan of this because toward the end, it's talking about, I should probably give you a synopsis. I'm a mess. This book is about a girl named Cameron Bright who has been very honest her entire life to the point where she is, like, brutal and mean. And one day she's, like, kind of talking, she was with her crush, and he witnesses her brutality and her cruelty upon another human being, and he's like, no, absolutely not. You're mean. Like, I don't like you. What everyone says about you, which is that she's a bitch, is right. Like, I don't. And so she decides, well, what do I have to do to win him back? I'll apologize. And this girl that she's apologizing to is like, no, you're not apologizing to me. You're apologizing so that you'll, like, look better in front of him. And that's not a real apology. If you want to apologize to me and be sincere about it. And so she decides, you know what? I'm gonna do this thing that is kind of like The Taming of the Shrew, which she is reading in her English class. This is a retelling of The Taming of the Shrew, loosely. And I'm going to apologize and make amends to everyone that I have wronged. And I'm going to say sorry, and I'm going to try and, like, undo what I've done and then, like, make it a little bit better, if that makes sense. So she decides to start out with this one kid who she, like, ruined his social life in the 6th grade by giving him a really mean nickname, and then the love interest becomes different, obviously. That's the synopsis. Now let's go to why I didn't like it. I didn't like this book because toward the end of the book, it's really preachy about how you don't need to change to, like, get the guy that you like, and she can still be who she is. And while all of that is completely true and valid, I've said this before, I'm gonna say it again, so if you've already heard this rant, you may as well skip over. Cameron is really mean when she's delivering her opinions. Cameron delivers her opinions really harshly, and she can still have whatever opinion she wants. That's fine. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. My problem is not with her opinion. Cameron is rather unlikable because of her delivery of those opinions. And I saw a lot of myself from my junior year in high school while reading this book as Cameron. When I was a junior in high school, I had just, like, a lot of anger and animosity, like, built up for no reason. Like, I was having stuff go on at home, but that's not an excuse to treat people poorly, but I was using it as one. And so when it was brought to my attention, hey, nobody really likes you because you're mean, I was like, wait a second, nobody likes me because I'm mean. I need to fix that. I need to be nicer. So I didn't change my opinions. I changed what I said or how I said it. Like, if something was completely brutally mean, I wouldn't say it. Like, it doesn't need to be said. And if something, like, I'm not as confrontational as Cameron, for sure. I never have been, and I never was like that, but, like, there were still things that I said that was like, really, Erin, you're gonna say that? And so, like, that, it was, one, I didn't like this book because it reminded me a lot of a part of my life that I'm embarrassed about, and two, like, I've talked about this for too long. I'm just not saying it well. Ugh. It's really preachy, and she's not changing herself or her morals or her opinion. She's changing the delivery, and that is not a bad thing at all. But she did change, and she's saying that she's not changing, but she's filtering herself, which is a change, but a positive one. And it's not for a boy, it's to be a better person all around, which is something that kids have to learn, period. Like, I just didn't like that it was saying that she didn't change, but she did make a change, and it wasn't a bad one. I don't know, that just really frustrated me. I also didn't connect with any of the characters. I didn't really, like, I saw a little bit of chemistry, but, like, I wasn't invested in the romance at all, and it's a young adult contemporary romance, so, like, that is a bit of a problem to not be connected to. So, I don't know. Definitely not my favorite book. Still gonna try their other one. If that one's a fail, I probably won't pick up anymore, but I'm gonna try it. I think it might have been this story and these characters that I wasn't attached to and, like, just wasn't interested in. I'm hoping that's what it is and not, like, the writing style or something like that. I was really hoping to love this. I was hoping it was going to be a 5 out of 5. So, like, me giving it a 2.75 is not because I had low expectations. I had really high expectations, and that's partially why I gave it a 2.75 out of 5, most likely because my expectations were here and they probably should have been here. Oh well. A lot of people still really enjoy this book, so if it interests you, go pick it up. Like I said, I have the unpopular opinion here. I haven't seen anyone else share that opinion. The next book that I listened to was Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating, and I gave this a 4.5 out of 5 stars. It's by Christina Lauren. They are an author duo who write adult contemporary novel or adult romance novels, and they're really good. This is about Josh and Hazel, who they come together and they start to become friends, they form a friendship, they become best friends, and both of them are single, and they decide we'll set each other up on blind dates. We're both pretty good looking, like there's no reason why we shouldn't be dating, and so they're setting each other up on these blind dates, and coincidentally they're all horrible. They're not doing it intentionally, and they're like, okay, all of these dates are horrible, so they connect over that, and then the romance ensues from there. I'm sure you can guess between what two characters. I really, really enjoyed this book. Hazel is just like Jessica Day from New Girl, so if you like that TV show, I think that you will really, really like Hazel. It is constantly thrown at you that Hazel is super quirky, and some people might find that annoying. I know I have seen that complaint. It was a little bit frustrating, but I just kind of tuned it out after a while, which is probably not good. And something else that I wanted to mention is if you listen to the audiobook, it's a little bit frustrating when you listen to, there are two different narrators, one for Josh and one for Hazel, and the narrator for Josh, his voice for Hazel is not good, like really not good, and the same thing goes for Hazel's narrator, but it's not nearly as bad as the one for Josh. Like, it just, that was a little off-putting, and I couldn't really, that bothered me a lot, but other than that, it was good. I couldn't give it a full 5 stars. I don't know why, it didn't have everything for me, but I did really, really enjoy this book. Something that a lot of other people complain about is the ending. It didn't really bother me that much. I was expecting it to be a lot worse, and I think that that might be why it didn't bother me. So just know that the ending's not for everyone. It's not the best ending, but the epilogue I found really wholesome, and it made me smile. So I did actually enjoy it. It was a little bit rushed, like right at the end. I was just kind of like, okay, we're doing this now, but it wasn't horrible, and that's what I was anticipating. Be aware of that. It's not everyone's favorite, but I don't think that it's as bad as everyone's saying it is either. Then I read another Christina Lauren, and that was Roomies. This one I did not enjoy nearly as much. I think I gave this like a 3 out of 5 stars. It wasn't bad, it just didn't click with me. It's about a girl named Holland and a guy named Calvin, and Calvin is actually an Irish immigrant, I believe. He's an immigrant, and he is actually in the States illegally, puppy zoik. Hold on. We have a friend. But Holland needs Calvin's help for her uncle's Broadway theater, and so they get married so that he can get this job, and they have to pretend to be married, and it's really stressful for both of them. Hi, bub. I'm just gonna set the book down and just hold my dog for the rest of this book while I talk about it. They get married so that he can get a green card and stay and like help out. I'm not really explaining this well, but like, I've already forgotten the ending, so I think that that says a lot. Wasn't really connected to the characters. I don't know, just wasn't the book for me. It wasn't bad, but like, Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating is, in my opinion, so much better. Hold on, I think I need to let him outside. Okay, I really have to hurry because I really have to go to work soon. Anyway, ending, I've already forgotten it, so obviously, like, I wasn't attached to this at all. 3 stars was okay. If you're looking for something to read, it's not bad. If you're looking for a new favorite, it wasn't mine. Take that with what you will. Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating seems to be like better. Majority think it's better, so I would pick that one up if you're trying a Christina Lauren, but I have a better Christina Lauren than that one, so just wait. Okay, I look a little different now. It is many hours later and I had to go to work, so obviously the video was interrupted. I also had to put my hair up into a ponytail for work, which is why it's down now, and I'm disappointed because that's not what this is about. Anyway, I was interrupted. That's why the lighting and my hair looked completely different. But I was talking about Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren, so let's continue to talk about that. Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. I loved this book. This is an adult romance novel told in a then and now perspective, or timeline, I guess, with Macy as our main character and Elliot as like our main side character and our main love interest. Macy has like her life pretty much set. She's ready to settle down. She's got a decent residency at a hospital and she is engaged to this older man who has a decent amount of money, and so she's just like pretty much ready. But while she's content with her life, she doesn't necessarily love it. And Elliot comes back into her life. They met when they were preteens, and then something happened. They had a falling out, and 11 years later, like they didn't talk for 11 years, and now he's back in her life 11 years later. They're like rekindling their friendship, but like Elliot wants more, and Macy's not really sure how she feels about it. She's still trying to sort out the situation that happened 11 years ago. I feel like some people are iffy about the thing that happened and like how that like affected their relationship. I personally like really understood it, and I don't know. I feel like some people are like, this could have been resolved and it didn't need to be as dramatic or as big a deal as it was made out to be. Maybe I'm hearing that about something else, but I feel like I've heard that for this book. I thought it was fine. I really enjoyed the ending. I cried multiple times throughout this book just because it felt so familiar. Macy and Elliot's friendship is just it's so beautiful. I don't know, I loved it. It meant a lot to me, and I love that they bonded over books. That was so cool to me. This book means a lot to me. It's definitely one of my favorites like of the year. If you guys want me to make a favorite books of the year so far video, let me know. I don't know if I want to, like, I would be down to do it, but I don't know if you guys would want to see it, so let me know. But yeah, I loved this book. I really resonated with it. It just felt so familiar. There were so many times that I cried, not even at sad parts, but just because, like, it felt like my heart was understood. Wow, I'm dramatic. It's fine. But yeah, I really loved this book, and I feel like this is a very underappreciated Christina Lauren. It's definitely a much more emotional one. I sobbed at the end. I don't know that many other people will sob, but I definitely did. For like a good 5 minutes, it was really cathartic to read this book, so please read it. It's amazing. I gave this a 4.75 out of 5 stars. There was just something off where I couldn't give it a full 5, but like, I don't know, like it probably deserves it, but I just couldn't you know what I mean? So it'll be rated a 5 on Goodreads, but just know, I don't know if it's because I read it on the audiobook, so there's a little bit of a disconnect. Not to say that the audiobook was bad by any means. I really enjoyed the audiobook. But yeah, I really loved this book. More people should read it. Please read it. It means a lot to me. And yeah, these books plus Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren are all of the books that I read this month. It wasn't my best reading month, but it definitely wasn't my worst. And I really enjoyed, with the exception of this one, all of the books that I read this month. I hope that you guys had a successful reading month. Let me know what you read down in the comments below. I would absolutely love to know and chat about that with you guys, or if you read any of these books, really want to talk to you about them, especially this one, obviously. Let me know if you've read this one and what your thoughts are on this one. Yeah, that's everything for this video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed, and I really hope to see you all in my next one. Bye, guys.